Thanks for watching my workout video. This is sort of a comeback workout, so to speak. The intensity is rather low. I am covering a lot of ground, but the intensity is pretty low. This is probably only my, I don't know, less than 10th workout back after about a 3-month layoff. I was just doing walking during that time. So this is my comeback for kettlebell, weights, squats, all that sort of thing. So I'm probably going to be recording more of my workouts to share with friends out there who might be interested, people who may be on the fitness journey. That's for you, Heather. The fitness journey themselves. Stay tuned and I'll be posting more stuff. So thanks for watching, and I'm going to put some narration over this video. All right, let's have a look at the planks. I think planks are indispensable at this point. At this point in the world of fitness, planks are indeed indispensable. They are a must. This is the basic way to do them. There are variations. You see people adding weight, putting weight on their hips, or lifting up a leg, or lifting up an arm, or going up into their hands into a push-up, then going back down. Lots of different things that you can do. This is the basic method of doing it. I do 2 sets, 1 minute each right now. And there's a checklist you want to make sure you go through. You want to try to be as horizontal as you can. You want to have your ears, shoulder, hips, knees, ankles all in alignment horizontally. So your body's in a straight line. You see a lot of people with their hips up. You want to try to bring your hips down if you can. Squeeze your buttocks, pull in your belly button, keep your legs straight, keep breathing. Another little tip is to kind of drive your elbows down. That's going to activate your abdominals even more. So the plank, do it. Twist and kick. I really love twist and kick. It's one of the more fun exercises for your abdominals. Twist and kick, just like the name says. I do 2 sets of 40. I count 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you go. And then I go fast, and then I go slow. So one of my favorite ab exercises, the twist and the kick. Then we're going to do step-ups. I do 2 sets, 10 reps each leg. I'm kind of fixated on the number 10 for right now. And even long-term, you're trying to find an adequate weight or level of intensity that's going to enable you to do 10 repetitions. I think 10 reps is not too low, not too high. I think it's a good place to be. So here, if I wanted to make this more intense, I'm going to want to slow it down, or also carry some weight, maybe put some weights up on my shoulders, or maybe hold a couple of dumbbells. There are ways to make an exercise more intense. Slowing down is one of the first ways. So these step-ups, I think, are very practical. Climbing up on a rock or something, very practical. As long as you can find somewhere stable to step up onto, you can do step-ups. 2 sets, 10 reps each leg, so that's 20 reps per leg. Hell, you can just do 20 on the right and 20 on the left and get it over with. Push-ups, these are fairly easy because of the angle. You know, you're not flat down. If your body's flat down horizontal, it's going to be harder. So the bench makes it a little bit easier. I do 2 sets of 10, and I may make changes to this later. Lunges, this way that the lunges are being done is my favorite way to do lunges. That is a back step lunge. And I'm pretty stable on my left leg. You're going to see when I get onto my right leg. I'm not as stable on my right leg, it seems, and we're going to see that. I like to involve my arms whenever possible. I don't just like my arms to be flopping around or doing nothing, or doing something unrelated. In this instance, I like the arm swing to be with the leg movement, just like if you were actually walking or running. So these are back step lunges. I do 2 sets, 10 each leg. And again, I would tell somebody maybe slow down a little bit, maybe hold some weights in your hand. There are things to make this exercise harder, little things that you can do. Back step lunges. This is, the ball smash. Yeah, so I used to have a rebound ball. The rebound balls are the balls that actually bounce back. I really like those balls, but they kind of lost favor, I think, because people were smacking themselves in the face. So the guy at the fitness store recommended this ball. It's not as fun. I do like it, but it's not as fun as the rebound ball. You can look up the rebound balls, but anyway, I do 2 sets of 10 reps for this. Then, the mother of all kettlebell exercises, this is the kettlebell swing. You want to envision your pelvic thrust, your forward pelvic thrust, as being the main foundation for flipping that weight up there. The weight is going up because of the hip thrust, so that's the idea, is you're able to get that weight up high because of the hip thrust. So this is indeed a hip exercise, and by default a butt exercise, because the butt has to squeeze to propel the hips forward. And then once you're at the top, give a little pause, flex your quads, pull in your abs at the top. Now this exercise I kind of created myself. It's basically pull-ups but negatives only. So I'm getting into the top of the movement and then just doing the descending portion, which is called the eccentric contraction, which is the lowering portion. You got to be careful here. You got to think of your body weight. You got to think of the weight or the strength of the tree, the limbs. So, you know, I would just use caution on this. Do pull-ups if you can, or do something like this if you can. Just be careful. You don't want to let go. Also, you'll fly back and hurt yourself. So please be careful if you try this. These are pull-ups, lowering only, eccentric contractions only. Yeah, I wasn't so happy there. This is sort of a, I think it would be a clean and jerk if you do it with a barbell, the Olympic style clean and jerk. You squat and then you flip the weight up and you kind of duck under it a little bit, and that's how you kind of grab it. This is maybe a little bit advanced for people who are comfortable with a kettlebell. Kettlebells take getting used to. It's taken me a few years to, I think, get used to them. This, by the way, is a 25-pound kettlebell. I probably could go to 30, 35. Not yet. I want to, you know, give myself something to look forward to. So this is 25 pounds. I do 10 reps each arm. So that's going to end up being 20 squats and 20 on each arm total. 2 sets of that. Here I wanted to show us the left side as well, because you do the right arm, then you do the left arm. Some coaching I might give somebody is to, you see how I'm going to start reaching down. I kind of reach down a bit much. I would tell somebody don't reach down as much and instead just focus on your squat. You want to squat a little lower, hopefully down to a 90-degree bend, which is your hips in line with your knees at the bottom of the squat. So I start to kind of reach down a bit much. I probably would say to go ahead and look down, then forward, then up. I'm missing the forward look. I'm just going down and I'm just looking up. So some coaching would be slow it down, reach down less, squat down more, look down, look forward, then look up is the note I would give. I do 2 sets of those. This is a basic squat. You don't need to hold a kettlebell. You can hold a medicine ball. You can hold a dumbbell. Whatever works for you. I happen to have the 25-pound there, so I use it. I do 2 sets of 10 on this squat. Again, you want to make it harder. Maybe take less rest between the sets and maybe slow the whole thing down. Now this one I hesitate, you see, because I've never done this before. I'd only done this with the rebound ball, but those rebound balls crack. That's the problem, is I crack those rebound balls when I smash it onto the cement. So that's why I'm here with this sort of like a potato sack ball. There's no bounce to it whatsoever, but it's pretty tough and maybe be able to handle throwing down onto the concrete. I love this with the rebound ball. This way I should have done 20, which would be 10 each direction, but I think I only do like 11 here. Again, this is my first time doing that way. We got some ankle weights on now. These are 10 pounds each ankle weight. And I end up doing 40 reps, so 20 each leg, and I do 2 sets. When the leg you're standing on, you want to have bent a little bit. You want to have your core drawn in. And I would tell somebody to go ahead and slow this down a bit, especially on the descent. You want to kind of fight the lowering and lower slower. Generally speaking, unless you're doing something momentum oriented like kettlebell swinging oriented, you want to lower slower, because remember, gravity's trying to pull us down, so you want to resist that. So the note I would give somebody like myself: core in, slow it down, slower on the lowering, slower on the lower, and straighten your leg on the top. I think my leg should be a little straighter at the top of this movement, so I would tell somebody the same thing. Try to go a little bit higher with the leg and a little bit straighter with the leg. 2 sets, 40 reps, which ends up being 20 each leg, 2 sets. Now with the ankle weight still on, I like working the inner thighs. Even in the gym, I'm one of the few guys I would see working the inner thigh machine, but I've always enjoyed the inner thigh machine and having strong inner thighs. So this is about as good as you're going to get, unless you can have some cables or, of course, a machine. You want to make sure your abdominals are engaged, your back is flat, and I'm doing 2 sets of 20 here. And watch the way I lower my legs. I want to always make sure I keep my back in a good position. So I lower, I catch my legs, and then you go up that way. I like to involve the hamstrings whenever I can. Generally, lunges and squats, you're only going to get so much ham involvement. So a leg curl, I think, is really cool to have. Also, as much blood flow as you can get to the knee, and that's going to mainly come from a leg curl, is always good. I would coach somebody, tell them to maybe slow down, especially, slower when you go lower, slower on the lower. But I like that arm action. You see how the arm action kind of counters the leg action? So I do 2 sets,
40 reps, which ends up being 20 each leg twice. I could go heavier ankle weights, but they're really kind of hard to find. You can't really find 15, 20-pound ankle weights too easily. I may have to special order them. Anyway, we'll see. I really enjoy working the hamstrings this way, though. Kettlebell exercise I really fell in love with. I don't know the name of this one, actually. The legs will be a little wider than normal. I've tried this with different leg positions, narrower and wider, and I think I do favor the wider on this particular one. And you want to count to 20, which is 10 each way. I do 2 sets. This is a 25-pound kettlebell. Again, I could probably go 30, but I'll give myself something to look forward to. Pull in your abs. Go ahead and flex your quadriceps, because the idea when you do an exercise like this is to have your body work as a pillar, a stabilizing force against the momentum of the kettlebell itself. So imagine yourself as a tetherbell pole and the kettlebell is the tether ball. That's the idea here. So you want to be really centered to the best of your ability. And this one here, rear deltoid. This is sort of a hybrid exercise, I would call it, and we're going to look at it from a couple different angles. First of all, I do 2 sets, 10 reps each side. This is a 25-pound dumbbell. You can do this with a kettlebell too. I just kind of like the feeling of a dumbbell sometimes as opposed to a kettlebell. Traditionally, in a bodybuilding style workout, you would kind of be a little more stable and anchored on your body. You wouldn't involve such momentum or swinging action as I'm doing. I call it sort of a hybrid because I kind of involve a swinging action, which is traditional more for the kettlebells versus the dumbbells. I also involve a little more lower body integration, a little more thigh action, some calves involved in this as well. So I'm a big fan of working the rear shoulder, sometimes forsaking the lateral head, the medial head, and the anterior head of the deltoid, just in favor of the rear head. I'm a big fan of working those upper back muscles, and particularly for today's day and age with so much computer work, so much time on the cell phones, looking downward, texting, and then while we're driving as well, sometimes our shoulders moving forward while we're driving. So anything we can do to retract those shoulder blades and just pull those arms back, I'm a big favor of that. I'm a big fan of doing that. So this is rear deltoid, 2 sets, 10 each arm. Now to top that off, I really love external rotation. This helps with posture, getting that humerus bone. The humerus bone is the bone that connects the shoulder to the elbow. The humerus, external rotation of the humerus. And I found some of the best way. I'm not a big fan of rubber bands here. I'm not a big fan of the elastic bands, but this is the best way to work the rotator cuff, I believe. If you can get a suitable elastic band and just retract those rotators, open up the chest, and get that external rotation of the humerus. I do 2 sets of 10, and I'm still looking for the perfect elastic band on that. To top it off, we do some calf work. This is traditional calf raises. You just want to find a place where you can dip your heels below your toes if you can. So you stretch them and then you contract them, stretch them and you contract them. Here I do 20 reps. Calves are really good for high reps. Traditionally, you're going to want to do as many reps as you can on calves because they're really made for that. They're made for high reps, 20 and 30 and beyond if you like. Now, when it comes to the calves and the lower leg, you want to do them with both a straight leg and a bent leg here in sort of a squat position. This will get down below the gastrocnemius, which is the big part of the calf, into the soleus, which is below the big part of the calf, the soleus going down into the Achilles tendon, and have a great looking soleus and Achilles tendon. So anyway, hey, we're done.
El Nino.